You're listening to Cattywampus.
My initial instinct is to say previously on Dragon Ball, but I actually don't recall where we left. It was like a blinking light in a mountain, right? That I guess was the Red Ribbon Army. It was like one of the commanders.
Yeah, it was like, the red light of doom.
So, welcome back, everyone. We've committed. We've stuck to it. We're in Saga 3, Season 3. It's kind of like part 1 of 3 sagas, which I did not know going into it. Like I think we had talked about it, but when I started, I did not recall that at all. So I was a little shocked to find out that this was not going to resolve when I was watching. But it's episodes 29 through 45. I watched it on Crunchyroll. Brian, are you doing it on disc?
No, Crunchyroll.
He's watching it on VHS.
I wish. I only have the first 5 volumes on VHS, unfortunately.
What does that entail? What does that get you to?
I think that's the first arc.
Oh, okay. Those first 13 episodes. They put five VHS tapes for 13 episodes.
It's like 2 to 3 episodes per tape.
Wow, that's great. That's a lot of plastic in the world. Anyway, and Steve,
I'm trying to save the world by collecting all the VHS.
You're doing a bang up job, sport.
What happens when you die?
I don't know.
Very good. Steve, how are you watching it?
Crunchyroll.
You're watching Crunchyroll. Okay.
Really, I think that's the only, that's the best way to do it right now because there is no Blu-ray and the DVD I think is out of print.
Oh, this has not been released on Blu-ray.
I don't believe so. I know there was a DVD pressing of it that you could get, but like he said, it's been out of print for a while. And then Funimation no longer has their own app as they were absorbed by Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll's pretty much it.
It feels like there's been like so many versions of DBZ, but this one, I guess not here. Like, I guess how long DBZ came to America first, right?
Right. Well, no, actually, I don't know. I remember DBZ was the first one anybody really knew about.
I'm curious to know like how long after DBZ broke out that this became like a sought after. Like, is this like it's like a mythical prequel that people couldn't watch? Like,
I saw the movie, and I saw like a few episodes here and there, but Z is what I caught, I guess.
There's a movie for this.
Yeah, there's a couple. It doesn't look like it is out of print. It's just there's a couple different ways you can get it, but I would say Crunchyroll is your best bet.
Certainly in North America, yeah. Okay, well, let's get into this. So, episode 29. Master Roshi would like Goku and Krillin to strike out on their own for a while. And while Goku already has his heart set on recovering his grandfather's Dragon Ball, Krillin decides to stay with Roshi. Nam returns home with the water gifted to him by Roshi, but it is only a temporary solution as the river has finally run dry. Nam heads upstream to find the source of the problem and is attacked by a dinosaur. But luckily, Goku has taken rest in a mysterious lake nearby and comes to rescue him. He and Nam continue upstream and find that a dam has been built and is inhabited by a group of monsters. Luckily, their leader, Kiron, recognizes Goku from the tournament and allows Goku to destroy the dam as they have been unable to. Goku fires Kamehameha Wave at it, destroying it, and with the river replenished, everything seems set right, but suddenly a sandstorm kicks up and dries up the river again. Goku notices the lake he was swimming in before and learns this is the roaming lake that has arrived. This doesn't go anywhere in these set of episodes.
It's a weird way to start a new arc.
Yep, it's very filler. There's a lot of things that get spoken of once in Dragon Ball, and Poochie returned to his home planet.
Right.
But you did get to see Nam for a little bit more.
I was going to say, I was very excited that we followed up on Nam. And that Nam and Goku got to team up. And that Giron was back. I was very happy. I was very happy to see all my friends. I did like that Nam, and I tried to kind of track it. I think it's true. Nam did finally explain how to say hello without slapping genitals to Goku. And I don't believe he did it in this set of episodes again.
This, as a whole, this arc or this set of episodes feels maybe decidedly less perverted. There's still some.
There is
compared to those first two.
There's also a distinct lack of Roshi. in these
Yeah.
episodes. So
And Bulma. And
Steve, you've hit the nail on the head. You know who's been sidelined?
everybody, actually.
A monster. I think this arc in general also was like, we got a bunch of people, they all want the same thing, we're going to intercut between them, and adventure will follow. This episode feels like it's kind of like a reintroduction, like it's a transitional episode where Roshi has to be like, get out from this storyline in my life. Go do something else. The only other detail I will note is that this is not the last time, but this is the most we're gonna get out of like Bulma and Yamcha and Puar for a while, and the pig, the communist pig,
Ulan.
Ulan, yeah. And I did like that the cat can turn into a fan, though I did have questions about what it plugged into. But I like that the cat turned into a fan. And it had fan voice. It doesn't really make sense because if it is the fan, why would it anyway? But I just liked that it had fan voice. Anyway, Brian, do you want to take episode 30?
Sure. A military convoy heads toward a town, alerting a vagabond child to flee. Nearby, Goku stops at a lake for a swim, but when he gets out, he finds that the dragon radar and his clothes have been stolen by the vagabond. He picks up on the thief's scent and follows it to its source. The child tells him that he sold the radar to an antique salesman in the nearby town. Goku finds the shop and retrieves his dragon radar. I'm terrible at reading and giving it like an actual like. You're much better at this, David.
Oh, am I?
It's just words and they're just coming out of my mouth, but when you say it like has actual meaning,
that is how reading works. Though you are good at that. I mean, to be fair, that is how it goes. You're doing in that sense.
Met
You're
the
doing great.
bare minimum criteria.
I'm just bad at it reading aloud. It's not my strong suit. All right.
Brian about to
I
say
knew
pop.
I knew all those diction classes would pay off.
Brian's about to say popcorn and throw it to me.
They made me balance a book on my head and then read from it so that I could attract a husband of great renown.
I can't remember the last time I honestly read something out loud too. I didn't realize it until I started. I was like, wow, I hate this.
Honestly, I'm going to leave all this in, and I think we're going to keep going, and it's going to be
Yeah,
a nice
yeah.
journey, because by the time we get to, like, DBZ, you're going to be fucking great at it.
I'll be incredible at it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. This is actually an intervention to teach you how to read.
It's all I've ever wanted.
That's all this podcast has ever been.
This podcast
learned
is about advocacy for literacy.
You learned how to love Dragon Ball, and I learned how to read. All right. So Goku picks up a signal from within the shop and discovers that Emperor Pilaf and May have obtained the 4-star ball. They escape on their ship, but Goku follows on the Nimbus cloud. Back at the antique store, the military force arrives in search of the Dragon Ball. The salesman gives them a 4-star ball, but they recognize it as a fake. Pilaf's 4-star ball was also a fake, just as the one Pilaf had taken.
That's my bad.
The salesman opens fire on a mysterious military leader, but the bullets bounce off of him and kill the salesman. Unbeknownst to all of them, the signal he picked up on was the 6-star ball in a nest above the shop, where a bird then flies away with the ball in his talons.
There you go.
Good lord.
Did the
This
bullet
might-
Really
it's-
spent too
this
much
might-
time
this
watching
is my-
Dragon Ball.
It's my own fear, is that now that I'm having other people read it, I'm going to realize how a shitty writer I am. And I'm like, I know it's supposed to be like just basically what happened. I'm like, well, I just fucked up and left a sentence in there twice.
We're
Well,
all
and when-
learning things.
Anyway, so this is the first time we get to kind of see the Commander Red, who's kind of like Kingpin, like the Marvel Kingpin meets like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget for a while, where we don't see his face, and he's got kind of a, I'm gonna call it a cat bat. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's fierce.
I was
It's
pretty
fairly
into
fierce.
it when they revealed him.
He was cool. I mean, it's again, like, it just feels like a different energy. It just suddenly feels like there's stakes where you're like, oh, these people are threatening. Like Colonel Silver, like he walks in, and sure, he looks like an 80s like douchebag version of a villain, but like, you know, they shoot him and bullets bounce off him and kill a guy, and I'm like, oh wow, like, oh man, like what's
Somebody
Goku gonna do?
died.
Something could happen. Something could happen to our heroes. These people are not fucking around.
Kind of the first time I think I've ever... I mean, in Dragon Ball Z, there are human enemies, but not necessarily like this. So I was actually really interested once this started.
Yeah, the military-industrial complex strikes it. Well, it's an interesting idea. Like, I guess they have to be some kind of private army. I assume this is not the nationally sanctioned, whatever this continent is. This can't be the army, right?
It's an army.
It's an army. It's like the Wagner Group. It's like
Yeah.
a private military contractor. Yeah, and their maniacal leader is after the Dragon Balls. I assume he knows what they do, so I assume he wants a wish. Actually, it's interesting because we don't have all the answers yet. We don't actually know what he wants them for. Do we even know that he knows that what they do? He may want them for some reason we're not even aware of.
At this point, no, we don't know that he fully grasps what they're for, nor do we know what he's actually going to wish for. So
yeah, he may not even know they make a wish. He may just be like, I've been paid a lot of money to get him back into that statue in that place. He may not even
they're shiny and they're pretty.
Yeah,
and I want
he may
them.
be. Yeah, he especially later we're gonna get into forced labor and mining that they're doing, and you're like, oh, he may just be treating this like an emerald. He doesn't even care. Anyway, so episode 30, the only other note I had is, I forget where to touch it, Pilaf is back, and I actually don't mind Pilaf in this context as a bumbling side character that is also after the Dragon Balls. This function really kind of worked for me. That way I don't have to treat him as any kind of actual threat.
The Pilaf I know has pretty much always been that. He's always just kind of been on the side, and him and his friends are also trying to get Dragon Balls.
Oh, it's season 1 the only time he's the main deal.
I think
yeah, he quickly falls to the wayside to being this is an auxiliary character. He exists to make you laugh.
It's in the Next Generation with the Ferengi, where they were
Right.
They were supposed to be the big bad in season 1. They were introduced, and obviously they were laughable anti-Semitic stereotypes, and everybody went, maybe they're not the big bad. Maybe we need to invent the Borg. Maybe we need to do something. We need to pivot. Steve, do you want to take 31? Episode 31. I should have written down the titles. Although I guess each one has 3 titles, so I wouldn't even know what I would have picked.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Emperor Pilaf gives Goku one of the fake 4-star balls he got previously. But Goku drops it since they're flying around in his airship. It hits the ground, it shatters. Goku quickly figures out that wasn't a real Dragon Ball. And figures out that, okay, so I can't find the 4-star right now. The bird that previously had the 6-star ball, we catch up to, it's eaten by a dinosaur. Dinosaur is said then captured by the Ox King. We get to the Ox King capturing this bird. He's getting it set up for a feast for his daughter Chi-Chi, who wishes to marry Goku. So they're trying to set up a wedding feast because they've been told that Goku will be there shortly. By a fortune teller, I think it was.
So in my memory, it's literally Chi-Chi just goes, I wonder if Goku will ever come back. I want to marry him. And Ox King goes, you should definitely marry him. Cut to them, him making a bird.
If I recall correctly, they're throwing the wedding feast because they were told by one of the maids that works in the Ox King's castle that just so happens to tell fortunes.
And also, it's not a castle anymore. It's a weird military-style compound in a suburb that they live in now.
Right, so they get this wedding feast.
It's fucking wild, wild country, but the Ox King.
Right, so while they're setting up for this wedding feast, Pilaf's gang shows up at the exact same time, and they go, oh, well, that's clearly Goku showing up. So they decide to take advantage of this by having Shu wear a Goku costume and pretend that Mai and Pilaf are friends. It's a fun costume.
This costume is fucking nightmare-inducing.
But you don't love it?
It's something that would be on Adult Swim at 3 a.m. to really fuck with you. I think that's the joke.
I'm fooled by this. This is clearly Goku.
But it's dead eyes. It's
It
one
looks
of
like
the
a Funko Pop.
It's a really great trick of animation because obviously all animation is nothing but still images, and often in lower budget animation it's repeated still images, so 2, 3, sometimes 4 frames where the character's not actually moving. But there's something about the way this mask is designed where you're like, that thing is dead and will not move.
I love
haunting.
it. So much anime uses that same face as a dead expression. It just always cracks me up. Something about it.
It's like Shu skinned Goku and put his face on like Hannibal Lecter, and it's like, I am Goku.
So
I'm here to marry you, child, as you desire. I, a dog.
All right, so while we're dealing with this horrible skin suit, Goku finally does show up. He ends up in a tree out in a field eating apples, where Chi-Chi just happens to show up picking flowers. They run into each other, have their little reunion. In the meantime, Colonel Silver's force actually decides to show up or come upon this military compound, I guess we're calling it now.
Ox King's Wild Wild Country.
Ox King's Waco.
Definitely, 100%. There's a line where Ox King's like, I used to be a villain, but now I've moved to the suburbs. And I'm like, go on. Like what do you mean?
So General Silver finds Colonel Silver, excuse me.
Hey, stolen valor. He didn't earn that rank.
My apologies. Salutes at camera. Colonel Silver has found his way to the Ox King's compound, tracking the Dragon Ball. The Ox King tries to fight back as much as he can, being just a very large man with axes, but gets captured. In the kerfuffle, in all of the chaos, Pilaf manages to get the Dragon Ball from inside the cooked bird and escape back to his ship. Goku and Chi-Chi spot this whole event happening in the distance from their cozy little field and rush back to it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that it becomes clear later, and it's not 100% clear yet, but so Pilaf and the Red Ribbon Army also have Dragon Radar, but it's not as good as Goku's, which you're from Bulma, because she's not sharing that technology. So I guess she's not all bad, because she didn't sell it to fucking the Wagner Group or whatever. So they kind of are like, I know it's here-ish.
Right. They could triangulate it within like 5-mile radius or something stupid.
Yeah. They can get into the vicinity, but they're not 100% on like, they can't like track it down. Whereas like Goku seems to be able to like if Goku had not been interrupted, it would have just taken him to the cooked bird and been like, oh, okay, it's in this bird. Or I don't know, it's Goku, so he wouldn't understand what cooking is or something, even though he's seen it. He would be like, this still alive bird ate it, and Chi-Chi would be like, but we don't get to see that scene.
I mean, we do get to see a Goku attempt to eat the bird, just not our Goku.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I actually wrote it down. The narrator is who mentions the Ox King gave up his evil ways and basically relocated to the suburbs. And I was like, what happened? Like, what do you mean? The Ox King, I don't remember the Ox King being evil. I just remember him living on a mountain that was always on fire. And it was just like he was the only one because the mountain was always on fire.
I mean, he and Roshi did used to hang out all the time, right?
Then he must have been. You're right. Then he must have been very evil. You're right. Never mind. I'm back on board. You're right. He must have been very sinister.
Is that the evil he gave up?
Yeah, it has to be. You look towards. I have a daughter now.
Exactly. He was like, oh, you're someone's daughter.
We are cut off.
It's like, oh, I can't allow my child near this man.
Yeah, Roshi, you cannot come to my house.
Hi, my name is Roshi, and I've been required by the state of.
We're ready to move on to episode 32. Goku and Chi-Chi arrive in the village to rescue the Ox King. Emperor Pilaf's flying fortress downs the jets of the Red Ribbon Army. Both the army and Goku follow their signals to the remote desert, though neither can locate Pilaf. After Goku is attacked by a turret, Colonel Silver realizes Pilaf is underground. Pilaf, Mei, and Shu try to escape back onto the flying fortress, but Goku follows them and clings to the wall of their ship. The Red Ribbon Army attacks with fighter jets that destroy the fortress. Pilaf, Mei, and Shu parachute to safety, but are forced to hand over the 6-star ball to Silver. I did like how Goku just kind of, at one point, Goku just sort of watches the Red Ribbon Army from the Ox King's ruins of his house. They just kind of gradually get away. They just very deliberately throw capsules that generate planes relatively slowly. They then very calmly climb into them, and then they just sort of take off, and Goku's just kind of standing there watching it. It was very Simpsons. He's gradually getting away. I think it's because they wanted to illustrate the technology, but we've seen capsules before. Like, I get it. Like, I don't know. It was very strange.
But we've never seen an army of capsules.
For a second, it looked like smoke bombs. Like, it was just going to be smoke bombs and they'd escape. I'd be like, oh, no. But it's like, no, they're just going to very calmly begin a flight check, I guess, as Goku just sort of stands there. Goku blows up at the end of this one, right?
He blows up with the fortress, and we're to believe that he went down with the ship.
Which I guess,
of course, he does, but
yeah,
I mean...
It just doesn't hurt him. It just doesn't have any lasting effect, except for probably another concussion.
I think that's the next episode.
Yeah, the very beginning of the next episode is just, wowee, I'm sure I am glad my Nimbus saved me.
Right, he doesn't remember how he got on the ground, and then he has to kind of recall. Yeah, Brian, do you want to take that one?
33. Colonel Silver delivers the ball to Commander Red, who reveals he still requires 4 more balls for his collection. When Goku wakes up, having survived the explosion by calling the Nimbus Cloud to save him, while tracking the nearest ball in the jungle, he encounters monkeys that have taken possession of it. Meanwhile, Roshi tells Krillin and Launch the legend of the Dragon Balls. Long ago, the 7 balls were one, but the evil forces tried to steal it, and the ball split into 7 parts. When combined, they'll summon the Eternal Dragon, who grants 1 wish. And the Red Ribbon Army burns their way through the forest, and Goku intervenes. However, Silver sends the monkey with the ball over the edge of a nearby cliff. Goku saves the monkey and the ball is lost in the river. The monkeys were really weird.
What do you got against the monkeys?
I didn't like...
It's hard to gauge how sentient an animal is going to be on this show. Immediately I was like, wait, how smart are they? Are they a talk? And then they're like afraid of the Dragon Ball. I'm like, wait, do they know what it is? And then they're like, oh no, okay, I think these are just like monkeys.
It was very
Plus Goku
weird
has
to
the
me
tail. And I'm like, okay, wait, is there something I should be taking from this?
It was weird to me that they gendered the monkeys.
Oh, did
Just
Goku
real-
gender the monkeys?
No. Like
I don't
the
think
female-
Goku patted them for.
yeah, he didn't pat
Well,
them,
no,
but
I'm taught him not to, finally.
The like female, if I remember correctly, the female monkeys had very clear like breasts drawn on them, and I was like, why?
I feel like I'm about to make a joke to insinuate that Brian is being perverted, but I legit do not remember this. I was not like I was not noticing.
I'm gonna level with you, Brian. I don't remember no monkey titties.
I don't remember this. I really don't want to put Brian on the spot like this and be like, Brian, you sick
swear
pervert who
I
wants to
looked
fuck a
over
monkey. Oh, I'm sure you did look. I
I looked over and I was like, why does that monkey?
I don't
have
remember
boobs,
this at
and why
all.
are we doing this?
really don't remember this.
Brian took the wrong lessons from Tarzan.
I really don't
know.
recall this at
It
all.
really. Hold on, I'm googling it.
I'm willing to.
I don't think you want that in your search
You're
history.
gonna have to burn your browser.
It might be better than Frieza's tail.
But while he's looking that up, I'll point out this is the first time I think it's happened, but they do it a couple times this season where the previously on is actually used to fill in new information you didn't know, such as it gives you Colonel Silver's origin in the previously on.
Did I don't remember that.
It did. They've done it a couple times. They do it a couple times this season. Where what they do is they just go. The narrator's like filling in backstory, and there's like a flash or two of stills or animation that was not in the show. It's not a complaint. I just thought it was an interesting thing to note that they're actually, you know, they're so. Boy, there's nothing more ominous than the click to see attachment notification after Brian went quiet and went, I'm gonna go look for monkey tits.
I just don't get it.
I mean, Brian, when you're right, you're right. There it is, clear as day.
It came on the screen and I was like, why does that monkey have boobs drawn on it?
I guess it's supposed to read as like this monkey's the mother of the other monkey who takes
Yeah,
the
this
ball.
is a mama monkey.
I
Yeah.
could have guessed that by the child on her back, and
Yeah, but now you don't have to guess, Brian. You know.
yeah, it just, I don't know why. It just really stood out to me, and I was like, I don't like that.
Will this get flagged if I make this the cover art?
No, I don't think so.
Wheels are turning. Save image.
You're now on the list.
Discord will give the FBI anything. I'm in trouble.
This episode was fun, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. They end up killing one of the monkeys, right?
Do they?
I don't believe any of the monkeys end up dead.
I thought they like laid into one of the monkeys with a machine gun, and it like pissed Goku off, and he ended up fighting them over it.
No, they opened fire on him, but
a
no
lot of
monkeys
at
were
the
harmed
feet.
in the making of this episode.
It's a lot of fire at the feet, which to be fair does come in later because that's what drives the main monkey off the cliff that Goku then has to save.
Yeah.
Overall, aside from the last few episodes, this was actually pretty well paced. Like I actually thought the pacing of this season was much stronger than last season. Also, I don't know. I gotta write better notes. There's just one note I wrote that just says Jane Goku all, and I got nothing beyond that. So there you go. Throw that out there. I should have written a joke around that or some kind of reference.
You just need a little more context.
I mean, the context is clear. I know why I wrote that.
Yeah.
I just don't have anything else other than to share that. I also like that Goku defended the monkeys from the massive, like, kind of panther cat without actually killing the cat. I don't know. I just was like, oh, yeah, this is all very fun. And, you know, a strong distinction between, like, Goku, like, befriending the animals. He doesn't even, like, grievously injure the predator after the monkeys, and then like you cut to the army just burning they're just literally just destroying the jungle. And I'm like, oh, cool, like we've actually made some distinctions here, like as to why Goku is the hero. And I think while Goku has been an entertaining character, why he is the hero in the first two seasons has been a little bit more vague, because there hasn't been a lot of clear like villains that actually like need defeating. You know, like Pilaf is bad, I guess, because he sucks, but like a lot of these characters suck. I don't know why Pilaf is any worse than, I don't know why Pilaf getting the Dragon Balls is any worse than any of the other characters. Whereas these guys, I'm like, oh yeah, this is bad. You need to stop them from getting these Dragon Balls and wishing something or whatever they're gonna do with them.
For the most part, the first 2 seasons are mostly just Goku defending himself from random people that are shooting at him or punching him or whatever.
Yeah, who are usually his friends.
Yeah.
People who he lives with. His long-term roommates are usually the ones attacking and shooting at him, and not a paramilitary force. Oh, I did take a note of like the description of like the actual myth of Shenron. Shenron? Because they don't say his name in this one, but it's Shenron.
Yeah,
Right?
Shenron.
One.
Shenron.
Where I actually was like, oh, interesting, like how they were put together in a statue and then they split and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's very like, Infinity Gauntlet. So my one history note is it's sort of like parallel thought where like this goes from like 84 into like 88, 89, the development of this idea, and like the Infinity Stones do appear in the 70s, but the Gauntlet does not, as a or bringing them together in the Gauntlet is like 88 to 90. So it is actually a weird case of like kind of like, oh, two different creators who probably were not aware of each other kind of invented the same idea. That's the only educational material I'll be providing, other than of course teaching Brian to read.
I'll learn one day.
I'll learn how to write. It'll be great.
And you'll use his bountiful literacy to bring to our attention monkey tits.
And next season, Steven will learn math.
The hell I will.
Might as well be sorcery. Steve, do you want to take 34?
So Goku follows the radar to the end of the river where Colonel Silver's army is currently searching for the Dragon Ball. This is where we first get our reveal that their tracking system is really antiquated because they're all searching this vast perimeter area to try to narrow down the Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, Goku shows up right to where the ball is and finds it within seconds. Takes the Dragon Ball, flies off. Colonel Silver, however, knows he's flying off and literally surface-to-air missiles the Nimbus and drops him to the earth. Goku manages to defeat the few people that he manages to send after him after he's hit the ground. Goku, realizing he needs to give chase to Colonel Silver, finds some dino caps, having no idea how to use them, manages to somehow generate a robot helper and a plane that they can fly off in. So the robot just flies the plane for him. However, the area they're moving to is like Arctic tundra. The robot freezes up, everything freezes up, the instruments freeze up, the plane crashes. However, Goku survives, as he always does major disasters, and before he can be retrieved by the army, which was also tracking the plane that crashed, a mysterious young lady grabs him and drags him off into the distance.
Does this continue in DBZ that cold seems to be the first thing that actually hinders Goku?
I don't know if that comes up anymore. I
doesn't.
mean,
Because it happens a couple times in this season. Like he cannot function in the cold, or it's the point where it's like, oh, he has like a legit weakness now.
No, think of the Broly movie we watched.
yeah, but that's true. But he had a really sweet.
I don't remember being. Wasn't he in the? Wasn't he in like the South Pacific? Wasn't he in like a?
Nope. They're fighting like in Antarctica.
You're right.
but
They
they're
go to
fighting-
the Arctic
they're
and he's
fighting-
fucking fine. He
they're
doesn't even
fighting
have
s-
sleeves.
They're fighting. No. They have those super sweet Adidas track suits.
Yeah.
But they fight so hard that the snow melts away and lava comes out somehow.
Maybe just as a child, he's weak to cold. He grows out of it. You know.
Yeah, I did want to mention. I don't know how much snow is actually in Dragon Ball Z, but this and that Broly movie, his like orange outfit really pops in the snow. Like it just looks really cool.
This season in general had a lot of animation that seems like a big leap up from the last season. Had a lot of stuff that was a leap up from one, and this one feels like another one. Like I mean, not for nothing, like the Red Ribbon Army, which they're an army, but hey, they seem to be mostly an Air Force. There's a lot of flying planes and like dogfights in this season, multiple ones. It's interesting, a lot of location changes. We've been to the desert, we've been to a desert, a jungle, a tundra. We're gonna go to a massive city. We're gonna go to like a whole bunch like that. That stuff's not cheap. You gotta draw that shit. I said that like that's some revelation of how animation works. You don't have to draw it.
Today I learned.
Also, when he attacked Colonel Silver, I understand Silver is alive in the next episode, but he broke Colonel Silver's neck. That is clearly how that was animated.
Oh no, Silver should be dead.
Yeah, Silver's ghost returned to tell Commander Red he failed.
Was this the episode where he dropped his little one-liner, or was that a previous episode? When he's like, I'm Colonel Silver, pleased to kill you, or something?
I don't even recall. This is similar to Monkey Tits. I don't remember this.
That was the one thing that like stood out in the whole episode. I literally saved like the YouTube clip of it.
I think you're right. I think this is it because I don't think they interact again, do they? Silver and Goku in this season at least. It would have to be.
No, I'm pretty sure Silver gets his ass beat, and that's pretty much the end of Silver.
Yeah, he shows up like one more time to basically get fired by Commander Red. So I don't think he interacts with Goku again after this one. I think this is it. I mean, this is kind of a big theme of this season. I'm going to presume the later seasons of the Red Ribbon Army is it's actually an interesting like collective force that is in itself very threatening. But ultimately, all these guys show up and they're just guys. So Goku's like, oh, that's interesting. Next snap, like like there's not really fun. Like seems it happens a couple times in the season. I was also really sad when the robot butler died. I was like, damn. I really wanted the robot to stick around.
Would have made things more interesting for Goku to have both robot and monkey sidekicks.
Robot, monkey, an android later. I gotta be honest, as a group of friends, it's a lot better than his shithill friends back in West City. Those fucking sacks of shit. Those ungrateful bastards. At least the robot's nice to him. Episode 35. The girl, we now know is named Snow, brings Goku to her home to recover. She and her mother are under the subjugation of the Red Ribbon Army, which have forced the men to labor at finding the Dragon Balls. Their chief is also being held in a fortress called Muscle Tower. Two soldiers search the house. Goku easily defeats them. Snow gives Goku warm clothes to allow him to survive the outside, and he leaves them, arriving at the tower, breaking the soldiers' ranks also easily, and enter the tower. First of all, I need to create a segment, because it seems like it's going to happen once a season, which is Goku outfit watch. His little snow outfit, little Snowku, is adorable. Similar to his tuxedo, adorable. It's just very adorable. There's a Funko Pop I would want, is Snowku.
I can almost guarantee you it exists somewhere.
There's got to be Snowku. That's like, that's a thing. That name is so good. I said Snowku immediately. I could not have been the first one to think of that. That's got to be the name of the Funko Pop.
Yeah, you're right.
Question is Snow. Obviously, she's big in this season. Surprisingly, despite him like leaving the house immediately, we cut back to her a lot. Is she a recurring character? Are we gonna get more Snow?
Yes, but not until much later.
Do I detect a love triangle between Chi-Chi,
Chi-Chi has to kill her to get Goku.
Wait, really?
No.
Fuck,
No, but that'd be awesome.
Don't no, but good time.
She does show up during kind of like a war-torn segment later on.
Wait, she has to go through another occupation? She's already a refugee?
Yeah,
this poor
basically.
girl.
No, the one she goes through later is far worse.
But remember,
her dad's in a labor camp.
We still have 2 arcs of this left, though.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I at this point when the soldiers showed up, and we're not when the soldiers showed up, but like when they explained, like, oh, the army's like just like enslaved to this town. Is there a political system in this world? Is there anyone like? Who are they? You know what I mean? Is West City a capital? Is there a government, an overarching government?
Actually, believe it or not, they do eventually explain this, but it's not until way later that they do kind of explain at least how the world's broken up and who the big leader is.
Is it Commander Red? Is this a dark world that Goku must liberate?
No, actually, it's a dog. The king is a dog.
Like one that can talk, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like one that
be much funnier if it wasn't.
He's not one of the dogs with the guns from this season.
I did notice when I was like making my episode notes, and he goes into this tower. I could not help but see ahead. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be in this tower for a while, aren't we, boys? Like this is our."
This is our home now.
And yeah, sure enough, it's a game of death style event. You know, each level gets stuff. You know, we all know the drill. Brian, you want to take 36?
So in this one, Goku enters the Muscle Tower. He was in the Muscle Tower, right? Or does it end with him?
It ends with him going in.
Yeah, it ends with him entering the door, basically.
Camera stays outside. Narrator's like, "Oh shit, it's on now," or something.
This episode was kind of a nothing episode for me, but basically he walks in and kicks a bunch of soldiers' asses, and then meets a giant creature called Metallotron. Yeah, he fights Metallotron until basically its batteries die.
So, elephant in the
You're
room.
burying the lead that Major
He fights
Metallotron
Arnold
is
Schwarzenegger, styled as Terminator, styled as the '84 Terminator, as the T-800. He fights an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator parody and it severs his head off. Cuts his head off and plays like Goku took a knife. No, he like kicks his head off or blasts his head off, and then eventually
he like
fights
blows
until he runs
his
out of
hand
batteries.
off, blows his head off. He basically just tears him apart piece by piece.
These descriptions are going to become shorter because basically each level is just like Goku fights somebody and wins. And honestly, it's kind of interesting because these don't seem as challenging as the tournament fights in last season. But I guess he's getting better, although he hasn't trained since I don't know. Anyway, but he fights Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I was kind of charmed by like only a few years removed, no Terminator 2 even yet, like just no context, like, oh, interesting, that's already like permeated culture that strongly. So basically Goku fought the T-800 and killed him, so that's cool. Or I just ran him out of batteries. So, which you got to change the batteries. This is really on General White. Is that in charge of the tower?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't change the batteries, man.
So Goku heads to the next floor after taking out Metallotron, and finds himself in the middle of a large indoor forest, it is bafflingly large.
Just some TARDIS shit.
How big all of these floors are.
Metallotron was on a reasonably sized floor.
Yeah,
that one felt to scale.
That it made sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then the next floor is literally the fucking TARDIS, where it is it is limitless in size.
I think they just didn't want to draw with that or something. I don't know.
He is Japanese, as imagined by every American in 1980.
It's rough. It's real rough.
So, fighting Murasaki, he ends up in these contests with him doing hide and seek, racing him, throwing shuriken at him. Basically, Murasaki trying to do everything but actually get into normal combat. But when he tries to get into actual combat with Goku, he ends up snapping his sword with his power pole pretty much instantly.
It's not the only thing he does with his power pole.
That's true. Oh, that poor man.
He Vito from Sopranos as Murasaki. It's what he does. It's fucked up.
When the Sopranos do it, it's not funny. And
no.
when Goku does it and he's laughing, it's hard not to laugh with him.
I find it strangely more horrifying when a child does it in animation.
Because the child is laughing.
Yeah, it's scary. The only reason it would be scary is if he had his own Goku mask on.
Murasaki eventually frees himself from this graphic PG-13 scenario and tosses a boomerang at Goku, which eventually hits him and knocks him out.
Goku's 4th concussion of the season. I thought I should have been counting. We should concussions.
Do a Goku concussion watch.
Oh, he's not in a good way. He can't be. 2 in like a day, like it's not good.
He never was though, right? Didn't we just?
Well, I can only assume that the way his grandfather trained him before we met him was to just give him multiple concussions, and at this point, he just kind of lives with it.
I mean,
him having he just dropped him off the cliff every once in a while.
Bro,
well, him having a concussion is a major plot point of Dragon Ball Z, so...
This is also the episode where he reveals he can only count to 26 without having to think about it. And you're like, oh no, Goku, you need to see a doctor. All right, so I'm just going to jump into 38 because that's sort of like, these two are particularly like just like one half of like a thing, you know.
Yeah, they're basically one episode.
Yeah, so Goku quickly recovers from his injury, his latest injury, and he begins to chase Murasaki. Murasaki takes refuge across a piranha-infested lake and warns Goku not to cross, but Goku leaps over it with ease. Murasaki then uses his ultimate technique and splits into 5 identical entities, but in reality, apparently he has 5 brothers that can join, I guess is what is revealed. I was a little foggy on this. So my notes are a little like, wait, what? But Goku does defeat them one by one, either way, whatever they are, this hive mind brother shit. The last one frees a mysterious monster within this floor, Android 8.
Oh yeah, doesn't he? Don't we lift up one of those floor mats to reveal his stash of porn or something like that?
Yeah, he has porn. Yeah, it's. I just can't even. Why?
Every once in a while, you're like, oh yeah,
Oh
you're
yeah.
fucking
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Ready for 39. So Android 8 leaves his prison only to reveal that he is a pacifist, unwilling to enact violence against anyone, including his captors. Murasaki threatens Android 8 with a remote to set off a bomb implanted in him. However, Goku destroys the remote and defeats Murasaki. Goku then enters a labyrinth that he cannot escape because General White is manipulating the walls. However, Android 8 enters the labyrinth and aids Goku in passing the moving wall. Does he really? I feel like they just walk in a straight line.
Well, Android
he's
8
like-
figures it out, and so they start running back and forth to outpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Android 8 is the one who figures it out. So that's
No,
how.
yeah,
Because
but
Goku's
he-
an idiot because of all his
he-
concussions. He needs Android
If
8's
I-
help.
If I
Goku would have
remember
died in
correctly-
there.
Yeah, Goku would have
If I
starved to
remember
death.
correctly, He basically was like, I've been here. I know this floor.
Yeah.
And he would just like started walking in a straight line, and Goku's like, but I want to go this way. He's like, no, come on, child, let's go.
Yeah, Android 8 definitely helped. Goku could not have gotten out of that very simple trick.
No, he would have died there. And then so once they get past that moving wall, they find General White in the command center, and White drops them through a trapdoor.
Android 8 has come up before. Like, he's one of those characters who I know the name through osmosis, but for whatever reason, I never knew what he looked like. Does he always does he look like this forever?
So
Yeah, this is
you're
just-
probably thinking,
you're thinking of
of
Android
18.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is that his
androids
son
come-
who looks like a little Frankenstein? David's eyes go wide of hope.
You
wish.
You'll be dealing with the Red Ribbon Army for the rest of your life, and you'll be meeting
What?
a
That is the
lot
most
of
threatening
androids.
thing Brian has ever said to me in our entire relationship.
If our plan is to go through all of Dragon Ball,
I don't think I'm thinking of Android 18 because I just looked it up and it just looks like a woman. It just looks like a normal human woman. So I don't think that's who I was thinking of. I think I was
Android 16?
thinking. Oh, he looks like an idiot. It looks like Lex Luthor's power suit on a douchey Colonel Guile.
Yeah, kind of.
I think once we get there, you might change your tune on him.
I don't know. Android 8 is tough to. I mean, a pacifist Frankenstein. I mean, granted, Frankenstein's monster is a bit of a pacifist. He just. Well, I don't want to get into that. Also, I'll tell you what. You know what I'm kind of a sucker for? When Goku before Android 8 shows up, I'm a big sucker for a Scooby Doo. They go on one side and come out the other
Yep.
in a maze.
This,
And it's just
this
little
whole
Goku
episode
running
felt-
around. Gets me every
This
time.
whole episode felt very Scooby-Doo.
All right, so Goku and Android 8, who Goku gives the nickname of Aider, fall through this trapdoor and end in a hidden dungeon. It's like a hidden floor. What was it supposed to be, like floor 5 or something? Doesn't exist.
They
or
they go
something
from
along
4 to
those lines.
6, and I think they do come back to 5. I think they do name it as fly. Aider says it. He goes, "Oh, we're on level something," but
Yeah, we're in 5, but 5 is supposed to like not exist because
Yeah.
it's dangerous. We find out it's dangerous because of a big monster called Bouillon. He's basically a slug monster or like a Dragon Quest slime type thing where nothing Goku can do it or does against it hurts it. He just bounces off. His attacks bounce off. They get to the point where they figure out that they have a similar weakness to the cold simply because a hole gets punched in a wall or something along those lines. This episode kind of blends with
I think the
rest of
Kamehameha wave bounces off of him and puts a hole in the wall.
Yeah, and it freezes Bouillon a little bit. So in order to fully destroy Bouillon, they punch a bigger hole in the wall, thus freezing him, allowing them to shatter him, and then escaping through the trapdoor that they had just come down to confront General White.
Yeah, Goku, like, they figures it out. Him and Android figure it out. Goku then, like, starts intentionally knocking out the wall, and then he hides in, like, Android 8's coat.
Yeah, he just keeps
To
jumping back and
survive.
forth in his coat.
Why did the Red Ribbon Army even build? Did they make this guy? Did they catch him? Was he already in the tower? Like,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Was Muscle Tower already there? Was this guy already there when they showed up? Like,
Yeah, like, it's unclear if Muscle Tower was just, like, a tower that they converted, that the army took and converted, and then added their weird experiments. Like, obviously, I don't think, like... Well, we know in this season, we know why Android 8 is there. So, oh, yeah, I guess maybe that evil fucking doctor, that Dr. Mangala, probably made this slug creature, too, right? That would make sense.
Probably.
Is it the next episode? No, it's in 2 episodes. We're going to table this about fucking Dr. Mengele from the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah.
Also, randomly cutting back to snow, and she's found like weird snow dust bunny creature. I don't know what's going on there. It never actually.
Yeah, they never really explained that.
41. Goku easily defeats General White. You'll notice my notes a lot of say that Goku easily defeats people. Again, it's because this army are just men. So ultimately, it's just this superpowered alien god deity coming up against a bunch of guys.
I feel like a lot of this season for me is he goes to a floor, there's a lot of talking, and he decides he's tired of the talking, and he punches them once, and then they move along. Oh, he's like, I'll listen to you, and he's like, well, you sound kind of like a bad guy, so I'm just gonna.
I'll listen to you. Oh, you're doing war crimes? That's not cool. Goku just kicks them. So Goku releases the village chief. White holds the chief at gunpoint, threatens both Goku and Ader. He's trying to goad Ader into killing Goku. Goku tries to intervene, and White shoots Goku, and in this time it takes Goku out for a second, unlike every other time he's ever been shot. So pushed over the edge, Ader punches General White out of the tower. That man is dead. So finally, all 3 leave the tower, and Ader destroys it. They then arrive at Snow's house, and they're welcomed as heroes. Brian, do you want to take 42? It's a big one.
Yeah, I'm looking
sorry.
at it, I'm trying to remember this episode. No, you're fine.
This is Mengele, right?
Yeah. Ader reveals he has kept the Dragon Ball hidden to keep the Red Ribbon Army from murdering the village once they found it. He's welcome to stay in the village, but he refuses due to the bomb implanted in him, which I'd completely forgot about until I just read that.
Yeah, that's why they
We've
go.
talked
That's
about that yet. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it because Goku easily destroyed the remote in the dude's hand seconds after he said, "I have a bomb."
Yeah.
I have a thing that could complicate the story. And Goku's like, I don't think you do. Can you destroy
Not today. Yeah, so Snow takes them to the reclusive Dr. Flap. He's a scientist they believe can help remove the bomb. Murasaki stalks Snow, Ader, and Goku on their journey and infiltrates Flap's residence. It is revealed Flap is a former doctor for the Red Ribbon Army and had created Android 8. Murasaki blackmails Flap and threatens to reveal this knowledge if he doesn't steal the Dragon Balls in Goku's possession. Murasaki seemingly escapes with them, however, Goku causes an avalanche which buries him.
Goku just murks that dude.
Yep.
And Murasaki incorrectly believes that Goku had the Dragon Balls, when in reality he had left them with Snow's family. Flap removes the bomb from Ader, Goku discards it, which inadvertently and unknowingly blows up Murasaki.
Killing him again.
That's a recurring theme in this entire series.
Yep.
Since Flap is unable to repair Goku's recently damaged Dragon Radar, they depart.
I will note something about Murasaki. When I am confused by something, I will consult the Dragon Ball wiki, and they refer to the bomb as killing Murasaki. Does he just never appear again? And some intrepid Wikipedia editor went, Goku killed him. Like, that bomb blew him up. But they flat out say they killed him. Like, this explosion killed him.
I mean, it's a safe assumption. We do never see him again.
And I think it's that. It's because it's like, well, why would you think that would kill him in the wide shot comedically if the avalanche didn't kill him? Like, it's just one of those funny notes about the cartoonish nature of the show is that somebody on the Wikipedia went, he's dead. I think that bomb killed him. Which I think is technically Goku's first official kill on the wiki, if you want to, like, mark it that way. We're out of the tower. Really feels like the season's coming to an end, and yet there are 3 more episodes.
Yep, let's drag this on for a little bit longer.
It's real weird to me it didn't just end right there.
43, the one we're about to hit, feels like the actual end. You're like, okay, what will happen next after that? Yeah.
Yep. So the villagers, specifically the village elder, reveal to Goku that his flying Nimbus, it's not gone. You can't break those things, which is a lie that will be explained much later on in the
Dorothy,
series.
you could have gone home the whole fucking time.
Yeah, so he calls for his Nimbus, and it shows up. So Goku uses the Nimbus to fly back to West City so he can find Bulma to fix his Dragon Radar. However, he's in a city for the first time in his life and has no earthly idea what he's doing. Goku, out of his depth in this city, manages to win a street fight with another Bruce Lee-esque character. How we run into another one, I'm not entirely sure.
I just thought it was the same guy. Is it not the same guy?
No, it was a different guy.
It's not Bryce Lee from last season.
No, it is not the same dude.
It's Brick Lee, his brother.
Yeah, somehow we end up fighting another Bruce Lee-esque character making a whole bunch of money and then immediately losing a whole bunch of money. Goku's finally directed to a police officer, and the police officer actually does help him find Bulma's home, which we end up finding out is the headquarters for Capsule Corp.
Yeah, speaking of living in a compound. But yeah, I thought that Nimbus fact. You're saying that this is gonna be retconned at some point?
Oh, this is going to be retconned later, because I remember watching the episode where it's retconned going, well, wait a fucking minute.
So I take it can be destroyed.
Yes, it can.
Is it like an actual retcon, or is it a retcon where they put an effort where like it gets destroyed and Goku tries to call it, and then it's like, oh, twist, the villain's so powerful he really destroyed it?
Nope,
or is it like they
it's
just forget about this completely?
It's that one. It's literally, it gets destroyed, and Goku's like, well, now I'm pissed off.
I mean, he might have forgotten. Maybe he could have called it back and never tries again, because this kid cannot remember things due to all the concussions.
That's true.
Also, that not Bruce Lee, not Bryce Lee from last season, apparently a third Bruce Lee. The whole scene, all I could think about was the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood scene, and I'm like, obviously Tarantino has not seen this, but I was like, man, if Bruce Lee's daughter found out, that was disrespectful. She should not be shown this. This is this is rough. I was a little confused by the cop, because it was like, wait, so is Bulma not a famous inventor? But then he sees her picture and goes, oh, I know who that is.
Bulma's not a very common name. He even says there's only like 3 Bulmas, but still, like,
imagine if I were a kid
think.
and went, hey, I'm looking for Elon Musk, and they're like, I don't know who that is, and then I show them a picture of Elon Musk, and they go, oh, that fucker, yeah, I know him.
Did like the line where he'd spent the whole episode trying to get money, and then when he goes to the cop, he's like, well, I don't have any money. He's like, are you trying to bribe me, kid?
And it cut, because the next scene would have been, because I'll take it, because I'm a cop. Because I'll take it.
I just wanted to be clear on what was happening here.
Episode 44. Bulma ditches school. I guess she's in high school. Boy, how old is Bulma? Or is this college?
High schooler.
I thought
At this point, it's high school, I
thought
think.
she was like 16.
She has a gun
Yeah,
and she has a gun and a car. I was just, I just didn't feel like she's.
So she's just your average American high school.
It's true. This West City is in America. We know it's canon. So Bulma, who is apparently a child, which is so much of the last 2 seasons. I'm just like, are you fucking okay? Bulma ditches school and returns home, where she introduces Goku to her family and fixes his Dragon Ball radar. She also demonstrates her new microband, allowing her to shrink like Ant-Man. Meanwhile, General Black hires the mercenary Husky to track Goku and recover the Dragon Balls. Goku and Bulma rendezvous with Yamcha, Puar, and Ulan and head to the Dreamland amusement park, with Husky secretly trailing them. Yeah, Bulma. Okay, so Bulma's been a child this whole time. Has that been established, that she's actually like in high school? Okay, I just don't.
Because one of the plot points earlier in the season, she mentions that she didn't think that she was that much older than Goku.
Yeah, but he's 10, so even if she's 17, that's still, it's as idiotic as being 20 and thinking that. Like that's, I think it's the fact that she like lives on her own in like a RV, travels the world for years at a time, has a handgun. Like these are the things that make me think she's not in high school.
That's
is,
what all the
is completely
that's what
sexually objectified at every turn by every character.
That's what all the Pokemon characters do. Like Ash and his little group of people.
Yeah, but aren't they like? I assume they're Dickensian orphans. This woman owns a technologically advanced RV plane.
Their parents are at home, and they're like, "All right, off you go on adventure, son."
She can fly a plane and owns a battle van.
To be fair, everyone in this show can fly a fucking plane.
Not Goku. He needed a robot.
Yet. I mean, one day he learns to drive a car.
Oh, it's a great episode.
Okay, so she's like the daughter of like a mad scientist. He's like invented most of this. Although it sounds like she invented the Dragon Radar, and she references inventing the microband, the thing that makes her Ant-Man, which just feels like a universe-breaking concept that she just invented. But I guess it's not a big deal. Also, I can't believe Bulma's mom let her teenage daughter's adult boyfriend move in with his fucking cat and pig friend. Like they live there. Because there's all these women hating outside who want to see Yamcha.
What's implied for Bulma's mom is that she is
a bad mother.
Quintessential. Quintessential
Bulma,
area.
I just love your boyfriend Yamcha. He's an idiot like me.
Basically,
he's an absolute tool like I am. Because Yamcha's not a teenager, right? He's like an adult man, right? Or no, is he a teenager too?
I'd say he's 18.
Yeah, I was about to say he's in his late teens.
I'd say he's 17, 18, Bulma's 16, Goku's 9 or 10.
They say Goku's age. He's 12 or he's 11.
12.
Yeah.
He's like 11 or 12.
They say it last season. I don't remember what it was because that's what makes Bulma go, wait, I thought he was older. And to which I say, why
Yeah,
would you think that?
In the tournament when they're asking how old he is,
Yeah.
and he's like counting on his fingers or whatever.
Because he's younger than Krillin. I think it's what he's 11 and Krillin's 12. Is that what it is? And Krillin's like, oh, I thought you were older than me. Like everyone who looks older than him thinks he's older than them. I have no idea why. Like this clear child. Granted, it's hard to read Krillin's age since he's an Eggman. The other note I had was Hasky doesn't seem that different than Launch. I don't know why it's not Launch. I was really confused by the intro. It was just thrown that we were so close to the end of the season. They were just throwing in new characters. And I was like, oh, what's this? And it's just sort of like a lark. And Brian, is this what you were talking about with the manga?
Episode 45 is an addition. So
Wait,
technically,
So they
think-
say they'll go to the amusement park and then the manga just cuts to later?
no. If I had to guess, I didn't actually read. I didn't have time to read the manga.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to guess, it ends.
Also, you
I
can't
don't
read,
even
as
know.
we've established.
Well, I just look at the pretty pictures and
Oh,
I
yeah.
can tell you what happened.
Also, if we establish you're illiterate in the kayfabe of this podcast, you're illiterate. Brian, you want to take 45? You want to finish us off?
Yeah, I
Epic
feel like
Saga.
I don't. I'm just gonna wing the description.
I mean,
Goku-
it's
Goku-
fine. this
Goku
was
and his
nonsense.
friends- Goku and his friends go to the amusement park and they have a beach episode.
Yeah, they play baseball like the
It's-
X-Men. I mean, in the 80s Claremont run. So Hasky impersonates a fortune teller to try and steal the Dragon Balls, and basically it's a bit of a farce where she makes Bulma think that Yamcha is cheating on her. That's the only real story relevant thing that happens, because obviously like she tries to steal the balls, Goku like gets them back, and then like really the ultimate big thing at the end is Bulma like dumps Yamcha and then leaves him at her house with her parents.
Yeah.
And then abducts the child Goku to go find the Dragon Ball so she can wish for a better boyfriend or something. I don't remember what she actually says she's going to wish for.
I think she just wanted to go on adventures at that point.
She
was
says
just
she's
trying
going to
get as
get them. She says I'm going to get them all and wish for something. Basically, I basically wish that somebody would date like me that isn't Yamcha. I think something to the effect of it. She goes, "Come on, Goku," and, like drags Goku away.
And that's the end of the season.
I really thought it was funny when like she's like, "Come on, Goku," because they're all like at her house, I think, and so like Yamcha and Ulan and Pooh are just gonna stay at her house, and she's like, "You all fucking can suck it," and I'm gonna take this child though with me. And then Yamcha thanks Goku. He goes, "Goku, thanks." And I have no idea what for. I don't know what for taking Bulma away. I don't know what Yamcha is thanking Goku. Like those are the final lines. It's like Yamcha's like,
Well,
hey,
he does stop Hasky from detonating a bomb that was going to destroy the amusement park.
I guess that's
so-
true. I guess that's true. And Yamcha is like the one who warns Goku about the detonator.
Yeah.
But it was just such a funny thing because it was in the context of this like big fight with Bulma, where Bulma's like, "Fuck you and fuck you and fuck you," and I'm taking this child, and Yamcha's like, "Hey Goku, good job, thanks." But like he's like, "Hey Goku, thanks," and Goku smiles back at him, and you cut to the sunset. I'm like, wait, what?
She's now no longer my fucking problem.
It's a very strange ending to a season.
A very strange place to leave it.
It doesn't make sense to me that the next arc doesn't start with episode 44. If you want to put it anywhere, it doesn't make any sense. But I guess we'll find out when we get on to the next one. But
Well, I think they just knew. Again, I don't know enough about the production history, but I'm going to assume similar to American TV, stuff can be renewed in multiple seasons, especially animation, to keep up. So my guess would be they just knew going in, hey, we're not going to be able to do all this Red Ribbon Army stuff in one season, so let's just renew it for 2 seasons and just find a place to kind of go, okay, that's this season, and then we'll just keep going the next season after that.
I've only ever, as far as watching Dragon Ball on TV and live, I only ever watched it on Toonami after it was already done. So there was never like a break or waiting for next season or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do wonder, like, in this third arc, was the next episode the next week, or did they have to wait a year or two?
So the way they did it was, and also this season was a week after season 2. Like they at this point they're in a production cycle where they can more or less go like week by week by week by week is how they're doing the production.
That's what
And the breaks are in other places throughout the season.
It's not like now where we're getting to the point where you get one season of anime and then probably a movie, and then you wait 2 or 3 years and then you get another season of anime.
Yeah.
Because if you had to wait years after watching this beach episode, it would not work well.
Or even like in the 90s, like American cartoons, where it had a similar thing where it's like, okay, if we can greenlight 60 of them, we can catch up. We can see how we're doing 20 in to then greenlight more, to then keep the train going, so that maybe we only have like a month and the gaps are less. It's off in the summer, and the gaps are more like, okay, for 3 weeks it's off, and then we keep going, and then in a couple of months, okay, for like 2 weeks it's off. Like, so it's a little less consistent. It's not the clean season breaks.
I mean, to bring it back to Dragon Ball Daima, I guess, or Dragon Ball, they're making that new Daima series, and I guess that's supposed to attract
What is
kids,
that?
I guess.
Muppet Babies, but with Dragon Ball characters.
Are we not already watching that show?
I don't know what it's supposed to be yet, but it is young
yeah,
Goku is
look.
back with new animation,
Yeah, look
and
at
it's
'em.
shown all the characters, and they're all young. And it comes out, I know the original date was
Supposed to be the end of the year.
October,
Yeah, I doubt it makes that at this point because we haven't heard anything about it.
but I'm assuming that is their attempt to try to attract kids again.
Okay, hello. This is the quote from the wiki. This is from Akira Toriyama about this. Hello, I'm Akira Toriyama. I'm currently working on a new Dragon Ball. The title is Dragon Ball Daima. Daima is a made-up term, which in Japanese characters would be, it's written out the actual characters, or in English would be something like evil. Due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. In order to fix things, they'll head off to a new world. It's a grand adventure with intense action in an unknown and mysterious world. Okay, so it's basically like a spin-off of like, hey, all your friends that you've been meeting, well, one day they just got turned small and transported to an alien world and get to do some new adventures. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, is it going to be on Crunchyroll?
I'm sure it will.
I would assume so, yeah.
Well, maybe we could do a little inter episode, check out something new and fresh.
Do a little detour.
Do a little detour.
I would be curious how much prior knowledge you need to have going into it, because they did show.
I think that can only increase the entertainment value. if I do know, I will have. Unfortunately, I will at that point only know it will probably be done with Red Ribbon, but like, that will not be enough for me to be like, I understand what's happening here.
No.
Steve,
It's fine.
Steve, they showed. Did you watch the newest trailer for Daima?
No.
I'm pretty sure they show the Master of the Universe, or God. I can't remember what his
He-Man?
official title is.
The Master of the Universe?
Xenos?
Yeah,
Prince Adam?
I'm pretty sure Xenos is in the trailer.
Xenos. I'm Googling Xenos.
Don't do it. Don't.
Don't do it.
You'll spoil it.
Don't look up Xenos in Dragon Ball. Boy, he's okay. So just so we're clear, the Greek name appears first, and then a Warhammer character appears, and I was like, that. I saw the Warhammer character, and I was like, that is a bold move for Dragon Ball. Before I realized what it was from, I was like, whoa. That's like in those Star Wars novels when the fucking Cenobites showed up before Disney bought it. We're like, wow, bold move, Star Wars. That was part 1 of the Red Ribbon Army saga. Next will be the General Blue saga, I believe.
Yep.
And that will be, I guess, part 2 of 3 of the kind of 3-part saga. Oh, also, fun little detail, that Anime Shine Effect showed up a bunch. And I was just really excited. And now the new fun game of, did you remember to put it in? It's right at the end. How lazy did he get by the end when he was editing it?
Time.
Did he remember to put it in? Did you remember to put it in? He's an hour and 44 in. He'll probably cut it to an hour. It's going to take him hours. Will, at this point, next week, will he remember to put that effect in? Anyway, I've been David.
I've been Steve.
And I've been Brian.
You've been listening to Cattywampus. You can follow us on Instagram at CattywampusPod. Email us at cattywampuspodcast@gmail.com. Music by Tilly.